in the late 90s during the dot-com boom, it was super easy to get a job. If you had any type of skill that could be applied to an internet website, you could get hired. Just show up at an event. Like they used to have a event in Santa Monica called the Venice Interactive Community. It would be in a mansion, I don't know, something like the second or third Thursday of the month. And everybody was there looking for people to work on their websites or looking to get a job working on a website. So that's where I actually got my first job in internet development. I had an advantage when it came to taking advantage of the dot-com boom because I was a stay-at-home mom. My ex-husband was a real estate professional and made enough money for me to buy whatever type of equipment I was interested in learning and figuring out. I had gone to trade school before my son was born to learn how to build and repair computers because I'd become so interested in them. And I had a variety of skills just from being a hobbyist that could be applied. I had taken Photoshop and graphic design classes at a university extension. I had taken various programming classes, and so it was really exciting to be able to see what could be built. Internet was so new. Everything was new. And one day, through a series of circumstances at home, I needed to get a job. And so on that very day, a man that I had met at the VIC, the Venice Interactive Community that I mentioned before, called me and said his employer needed someone, another web developer. Asked me to come down and interview, which I did the following day, and I got the job. So this is in the late 90s, and now I'm working full-time as a web developer at a company that was focused on research and development in the internet space. They ended up making other companies that were bought by bigger companies like Universal and stuff like that. But at this time, it was just getting off the ground and focused on providing internet and technology services to the music industry, with whom they had a lot of connections. One of the founders and the chairman of the company was the founder and chairman of a major record label. And so I worked there for a couple years and really learned how to work on servers, all different types of hardware. I watched as the internet evolved, participated as the internet evolved, just applying different technologies and programming languages, mixing them together and coming up with unique products. It was really very exciting. But after working there a couple of years, kind of hit what happens in capitalism where, this is as much as they're going to pay you and as far as you're going to progress at this particular company. So I dusted my resume off, and before I knew it, I had an offer at another company. So actually it was about 1 year later, moved to a different company. And that was great. I worked there for a couple of years, and that was focused on advertising as a web developer, similar work, learning new technologies, working with new people. And it was at a time when web developers were treated as royalty. I think my title there was internet developer. We were pretty much treated as royalty. And I had a special friendship with a woman who was responsible for ordering our catered lunches we used to have on Fridays. And so she used to hand me the menus and let me pick the food. So people didn't know I was picking all the food that we were going to have on Friday, which was kind of cool. So it was like whatever I had a taste for, the whole office had to have. But it was one of these things where it's like endless Snapples, and I don't know, we were just treated really nice. I remember having a Christmas party on a yacht, which was fun. And being, I had stock options, all those kind of fun things that they say. But the interesting thing about that, the punchline to that, is I had stock options that vested within 2 years. But at 1 year, 11 months, and 15 days, I was laid off. So, that's the way it goes. So, anyway, after that, I got laid off during the Dotcom bust, when all of the companies were going down and they were kind of consolidating and just leaving us out to dry, where we had been these big rock stars. Now all of a sudden, who cares about us? So, and at the same time, I just had like a cascading cacophony of unfortunate events occur. My marriage was breaking up, and obviously I was running out of money because I had lost my job. So I was kind of scrambling to try to find another job, and it was not happening. I did free work for people, but it was such a quick market turn happened. It was right after 9/11, 9/11 happened, and then my marriage pretty much broke up a week or two after that, and then about a month after that, or a couple weeks later from my marriage breaking up, is when I got laid off. And so within about a month, the world changed, and it just wasn't a party for web developers anymore. And it seemed like as much as I ran around, I couldn't find a job. So I started trying to get back into school. I mean, it was really a serendipitous set of circumstances that allowed me to return to school. I had been a university student and had dropped out about 12 or so years before that, because I had circumstances in my family where my family needed me. And after getting married and having a child, I had not considered returning to school. But since the .com industry had completely dried up, it made sense to give it a try. And so that was my next adventure. I actually went back to school. But I'm going to wrap up here because it's really a long and kind of interesting story that led me back to school to finish my undergraduate degree. And I'll save that for the next video. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll continue next time. Bye.